Very dark black man has come out as well to react to the situation, starting off from Messi Chingo's crying reaction. Now, if you want to watch my reaction on that, I made that, of course, in this video, and it was very clear looking at the facts of what I observed with the video. But there's something I found really questionable about what this young man himself is reacting to, or even from the way he's sounding. And looking at what I'm seeing in this conversation, I think the meeting I showed you where Messi Chingo was invited for there to be a mediation with Ezekiel Tangled and the other lady who claimed to be a business coach, according to me even looking her up. I think it was very intentional. Because tell me, how does someone who claims that she is coming in as a mediator or she is trying to bring both parties to a neutral ground for them to solve or resolve a situation is also promoting the narrative that Very Dark Black Man, of course, is giving here? Now, I'm going to fault what he's saying, of course. And if you're watching this video, I have nothing against your person. You have your attention and your media, or what I say, gang, with respect to what you have been doing, which I've spoken about it before. But who am I for you to listen to me? Do your thing the way you do. But over here on this platform, we focus on facts, no sentiment. I don't need to try to convince people because I think I have an extra information. Every bit of information I shared on this platform, on this conversation when it started, I didn't have to speak to any of the parties. But the things I did here, no one did it. And it's not pride. You might be alpha male, I'm Sigma. You might want to Google that. But anyway, it's not a challenge to your person, but we will have to listen to him. So I get to, fault what I have to fault, because I think one thing when it comes to the rule of conversations like this is that if you want to carry out an investigation objectively and you commit to listening to any side of the story, make sure you try to listen to both sides. Every conversation I've had here on this platform, I don't listen to any side. I look at what they put out there as my source of conversation, because once I start listening to you, already I become compromised. Why? Because you are the one feeding me with information I was never there. So I either get to carry the sentiments that you carry and lose my integrity in the process. So I rather not talk to you. You put out what you have to put out. And you could see that from everything that EZT had put out himself and also what Mr. Chingo had put out herself, that was my basis for conversation on this whole situation. With the add-ons, I also brought in investigating what they said to say if this one is right or this one is wrong, or if this one is trying to really be a bit dodgy. From day one, that has been the conversation. So why am I even starting off with this woman? Look at what she put when Very Dark Man posted what he posted. This video, I'm going to play it to you as well. She said, "Thank God Easy Concept is vindicated." But that is even aside as well. She also made a post on her Instagram handle. So these are people that are around this case or around this whole saga. I'm so sorry to my audience that I'm even talking about this, but I think with his clout and with his personality, Very Dark Black Man, he's raising concerns that I think if he's not being, maybe people don't even know I exist, but he has more quote and unquote media coverage and attention than I do. So obviously his narrative is going to fly. But at least for those who are following me on this platform, to a great extent, we have to make sure we understand the fact. You can share this video to him or whatever. I don't really care, but I have to make sure that as this is trending from his own corner, come on, someone that has over 1 million something followers, I'm not trying to even compete with him. I know I've been on this path for years. He made his first video talking about this Very Dark Black Man. One idea he was pushing was that Mr. Chinwo's video had many jump cuts and it was properly edited with her crying and all of that. The same thing, of course, if you are not taking sides in this conversation, you should have seen the same thing on EZT's video, that his video also had many jump cuts. And I explained that on Instagram as well to the audience, that on that particular ground, both of them did the same thing. Number two, of course, you talked about the concept of Jerieze and Nathaniel Bassi being mentioned. Now, I say that, of course, to my audience here, that itself should not even have been warranted. But, of course, for me to trace that, of course, I could see that in EZT's litigation as well, when he mentioned that Mrs. Chinwo had come to him and mentioned the fact that she wanted the catalog because Nathaniel Bassi and Choma Jesus have their own catalog. So I faulted her for that. So before you maybe in your imagination ever think of the fact that I am being sponsored or something, my audience know me too well than probably people I see with their shenanigans on social media, like the journalist who was saying that I'm being paid. right on Instagram. Anyway, I responded to the person on Instagram. That's number 2. And number 3, of course, right here, you talked about you having evidences as well to show that, what you are saying is true, and with respect to the contract and all that, which is what I'm going to be playing in this video. But before I get to play your video, Very Dark Black Man, there's someone that is just behind your video here, and that person, of course, is Sati, because Sati was there at that particular event that you were talking about, which happened at EFCC. But before I get on to playing this video, I want to correct you on one thing. Following the chronology of events as mentioned by the parties, EZT himself posted with respect to Apostle Anselm, because you mentioned in your video that Apostle Anselm, after them going to EFCC, came and was asking for catalog. No, you are missing the timeline. That's why if you want to follow a story chronologically as well, listen to both parties. I don't even know if you took your time to actually go on EZT's platform to read the things he had posted before this time, or probably went to Mercy Chinwo's platform to see what she had posted, at least what they are sharing on social media as their rebuttals. Because if you had done that, you will know that the Apostle Anselm issue came even before the situation, of course, escalated to the EFCC. And when he came in, and the discussion about catalog happened at his own residence. Let me read that, of course, from EZT himself, because I'm going to play that part of the video where he said it. But just to put some things straight for those who don't have the time to really watch my videos to the end, I just give you a summary of what I'm seeing before we now start playing the videos for those who have the time to watch. Apostle Anselm intervention when he was replying. He said, in the second page, he said here, at the first mediation meeting called by the Apostle, the label expressed that one of the artists had been boycotting scheduled events for higher paying engagement and diverting funds into her personal account contrary to the terms of her contract. The Apostle remained silent and refused to address the breaches alleged against the said artist. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I read this as well before, and I gave my reactions as well to that. That's not what I'm looking at on this particular conversation. At the second meeting, which had Efe Omoregbe, Mama Hilda Dakubo, Mr. Mina, the artist's husbands, both serve as their managers, as the artists were absent. Mr. Chinwo and Judike were not around. The focus of the mediation centered around the catalog, with the artists demanding the transfer of master's right to them. Now, I talk about this as well, that if they had indeed a record label contract or something, that they shouldn't even be talking about the concept of catalog. And these people themselves are supposed to know what it entails as well for you to run a record label, have a artist signed under you, and of course you holding the right to the catalog. I took time to explain the music business on this subject. Watch the videos that existed before now. Do you understand? So going on as well, however, this is not possible as they are only entitled to their royalties from it. After it was obvious that we would not cower into relinquishing the master's right, the conversation fleetingly shifted to a discourse about auditing. Do you understand? So it was clear that when it comes to master's rights, nothing. It was from here later the situation got to the EFCC, and then what led to him releasing money when they were at Ilorin. One thing I observed from both of them is that they are committed, according to them, with respect to their posts, both on Mr. Chinwo's reaction first with their lawyer, and of course with EZT's reaction, even in video and in written form, that they are committed to a peaceful resolution, of course, of this as Christians or something. Probably they are just brandishing this whole Christian thing to just put it under that umbrella. But you have to understand something. That is just one thing I got to observe. So probably you need to get your facts right. Now, as I get to listen to the person of Very Dark Black Man here, let's follow him accordingly. And please, my assumption is that you have watched these videos before. People still come in the comment and then they keep saying that, why do I keep interjecting? My assumption is that you have seen the conversation I'm talking about. So if I interject, it's because I don't want to miss my line of thought on what I have to say. Please understand that. I don't have to repeat myself 100 times here. Thank you very much. So let's listen to Very Dark Black Man as he reacts to the situation.
Video, because I'll be posting with proof and a lot of evidence in the video. And after this video, if Mercy Chinwo feel like Very Dark Man is lying and they have anything to counter my proof that I'm posting here, they can take me to court. Yeah.
Mercy Chinwo, if you're watching this video, one thing I'll advise you, okay, is that you don't get to respond or react to this situation. There's a reason for that. It's going to be wisdom, I would say. Whatever is going on behind the scenes, because right now I can see that even the people that were trying to bring you together already, at least the lady, of course, had taken sides already. Because tell me, how would Very Dark Black Man have the information he has, which is coming from EZT for sure, because He hasn't spoken to Mercy Chinwo. If not, he will not be challenging Mercy Chinwo like this. So the email that was sent from EZT, which he already mentioned when he was at the news with respect to when he went to the court to stop the EFCC from arresting him, how would that particular email get to his hand? How would the receipt of the payment get to his hand if it's not coming from inside? But what they agreed when they wanted to have the so-called mediation with Dr. Stephen Akintayo, he told him specifically, do not post for the next 30 days, respond to this whole situation for the next 30 days so they can see how to resolve it. Now, did you invite Mrs. Chinwo and she refused to come? Because if she refused to come for the invitation, what if it was just wisdom? Because even the lady that is involved that brought EZT to Dr. Stephen Akintayo already had taken sides, even listening to this. Oh yes, my dear friend. Come on, like I just showed you. So you were told not to respond, but at least you have a response here coming from Very Dark Black Man. Very interesting. Christians indeed. Anyway, I know one thing for sure, is it he wouldn't have anything to lose except for his image and reputation. But again, all this is about what? Money. But Message Chinwo, I wouldn't advise you to respond to this, sincerely speaking. It's already been overflogged. Even though GDK, in my opinion, may have been probably, because now blogs are quoting me, papers are quoting me on the internet. Please quote me correctly. I see some quotes here and there. I'm like, is that what I said? Judy K leaving this particular conversation and then just washing her hands off it indeed is quite commendable. Okay. Now, I don't know if Judy K received her publishing rights. I showed you everything with respect to publishing, all of that, or she just let everything to him and the company. But if Mrs. Chinwo wants to fight for her money and what she deserves as well to get back from the record label, because she hasn't gotten any publishing rights or something, you can allow yourself to be cheated and move on. But I wouldn't advise you to respond to this, because in the end, it's now going to be VDM Mercy Chinwo, while the key player, of course, behind the scenes, EZT, is just watching, and your image, of course, would be soiled and dragged with his person. I have no problem with his person. I have no problem with his personality, but getting into that field with him would not be good for your own image as a person. Just a brotherly advice. But let's listen to what he has to say, because he has some facts in what he's saying. So let's listen.
Yes, they can take me to court. But you see this one I won't do, I will not let you people do it. It's not the one way you do, because you have a bigger media. I also have media. Yeah, I also have media. So
The thing is that you were not even invited in this conversation in the first place. Had it been you wanted to really had it been you were really, really interested, or the thing is that I wasn't invited in this conversation, neither were you. But if you are coming into the conversation as well, trying to use her tag when she said that the boss has blogs and she has God. What she said is that she has God. She didn't say that she has a media. People are propagating that I am paid to talk for her. Those who have been here with me for years, you know my person. Do you understand? So you coming in now as well to say you have the media, me, I also have media. How were you injected in this particular thing as if you have a personal fracas with her person? If it's for me, who knows me? Am I that popular? Like, only on YouTube you can say, okay, we know Being Real George. On Instagram, I have like barely 2,000 followers or something, but I'm very content. I'm not here to try to drag someone's attention or someone's popularity. If tomorrow Very Dark Black Man wakes up to play my video and then react to my person, he's giving me attention. When he gives me attention, people come and check me out. They will see that I've stayed true to my personality consistently without being out of order, because it's always facts over sentiment. It's a rule over here. And it's significant. When he speaks, of course, it gathers attention. So he would make it, he can say, okay, take me to court or something. I get it. Okay. Right now, of course, if I wasn't that important, even with the small attention I have, general overseer are suing me. So you can imagine that. So let's go on.
it is true that a former record label boss, Easy, seized a royalty for over 1 year. It is true. But
Okay.
why did he do it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, unlike her, that they were hiding the dates. If you go back to her video, they were hiding the dates in her videos. Some of the dates, especially when she said the guy took her to court, she hid the dates. I'll provide everything with dates and proof. Now, this
is it he already provided the dates when he was talking about it, when he responded? It's not as if you are bringing anything new. When EZT talked about it in his response, he provided the dates when that happened. But let's go on.
The genesis of the problem. Easy record label, the record label where Mercy Chinwo was signed into, they sent her a letter, an email, and this is the email. This email was sent on the 21st of March 2023. This was where the whole wahala started. Now, this is the heading of the letter. Notice of breach of contract and infringement of copyright against Mercy Chinwo. Now I'll go straight to the important part where inside the email it says to Mercy Chinwo now, kindly note herewith that we have raised the issue of no communication and non-remittance of money from performance at various events, which was intentionally boycotted to your personal account against the agreed provided organizational account. On our email to you on the 12th of April 2022, consequently, all royalties due to you were paid to you in full. However, royalties for streams of content and distributed on virtual platform was paid till the first quarter of 2022, being received and paid quarterly as agreed and reported. Further to this, you were informed through our mutual pastor, Reverend Temple Odoko, of the fact that your royalties from virtual stream from second quarter of 2022 will be retained until you take steps to repair this breach and adequate reconciliation is done in the interest of all parties. Based on the foregoing, your exploitation of the song, composition, and musical work production without prior authorization from us is an infringement. Now, it is self-explanatory. So what happened was that Mercy Chinwo was going behind the record label.
So this particular mail, or what I say a follow-up mail, was sent 2023. Her contract, official contract, expired September 2022. Let's note that, of course, okay? But this particular, I wish as well, probably EZT, because since this is what you provided for him to know, whether it's EZT personally or his team, the email you said you had sent earlier, okay, with the notification of withholding her right or something, you can also provide that, because this looks like a follow-up mail, okay? All right? And also, with Temple Odoko himself as well, who is the mutual pastor between you that has communicated that had communicated this to her, I think there has to be also that confirmation as well. But again, even the Temple Odoko itself is a little bit questionable with respect to the contract situation, okay? So, I don't know if you're getting the point, but indeed, for a fact as well, there was that issue of performing without remitting money, of course, to the company based on their agreement. Okay? See, it's business. This is pure business. Let's go on.
To go and collect shows. She was collecting gigs and she was not remitting money to the record label. She was collecting money, going for different shows behind the record label and behind the agreement. And when the record label found out, they sent her this email, and it is self-explanatory that they will hold her royalties until they come together and sit down and go back to what is on the drawing board. Because why are you going back outside the record label to make money for your own self? It is written there. It was an email sent to her. If she says it's a lie, she can sue me too, because this is evidence number one. So this one, she's saying that this is a reality, they are trying to oppress her and blah, blah, blah. Lie!
As time goes on, because she still has her catalog with them, which is supposed to be with the record label, of course, based on what she signed, if that is what she signed in 2017, the record label are the ones to be remitting to her. They're supposed to have a relationship whereby every quarter she still gets her royalties from her song. But what is now becoming an issue right now is that they want to, for the period that she was having issues with them, we started from 2019, 2020, because that was when they wanted her to sign. I'll get to that point of VeryDarkBlackMan's conversation. They want to see her books, to see how much she has earned from maybe this church or this church. But I think one thing is, he who alleges must prove. That's what EZT himself says. So if you're alleging that she went here as well, probably you should be able to point that to her because you monitor her movement. That's what I was thinking. But if Mercy Chinwo herself wants to, since they are really, really particular about getting to her books, which of course they have reasons to do so based on their contract that she's supposed to remit 50% of whatever she earns, at least for the period she was in their contract. Because right now, let's say, assuming now, Mercy Chinwo herself provides the books as well to them for them to do the auditing and check whatever amount she has earned from preaching for this pastor or for singing in this ministry or something, because EZT has mentioned that she went here. So if they are looking at her accounts, they'll be looking for probably those particular meetings or something. Now, assuming she even agrees to submit her books for that, which if she wants to go further with this as well, she will let that happen. Just for a fact, the conversation is going to shift from that conversation right now If after finding that, okay, she has remitted everything that she earned, at least that they are claiming that she earned towards that particular moment of her allegedly going to shows here and here and not remitting. What if she went to those shows and then maybe she did it for free? I'm just saying, because of probably friendship with all of these pastors or something, because you see, we don't know that. So maybe Messi Chinwo would have to prove that for them, because that's their reason for saying that they withhold it her royalty so that they can counterbalance. And I've said it here on this platform, okay? Even if they get to find that there's money that she's supposed to remit to them from playing at shows or playing at ministries, EZT will still be the one owing her more money. That is a fact. But know something as well here. What is happening here, or like I mentioned, of course, already, is just greed at play, both from EZT's angle and, of course, Messi Chinwo's angle. I've explained this before, I don't have to overflow again. But let's listen to the young man.
Lies from the pit of hell. Lie. Now, when this happened, the thing became a problem. Now, when the record label now collected money from different people that Messi Chinwo will come and perform, Messi Chinwo now refused, which made them started refunding money to different people.
Okay, now EZT, of course, EZT shared this particular situation, and this was somewhere, I think it's 2022. Okay, 2022, at least that was still, I don't know which date. Let me see if I can increase this. Don't mind me, okay? Okay, that was around March 2022. So makes sense, because that is still within her contract time. Okay, and like I also mentioned about this before, if you're not really having a good relationship with your record label and all of that, it's a little bit problematic that they just call you up and tell you, okay, go here and go and minister. Because ask yourself, even when it comes to that ministering thing, is it just come and just play a show like the second? You see, I said this, I don't know why did the news media just took that part. Probably it's the truth, I would say, that this is an attempt to secularize the gospel genre. I said that here because for the secular artists, they just need to go anywhere and go and play their song, they will dance and mime to it. But when it comes to the Christian setting, it's not just something you just come and then, because No. There has to be, it's something that is prayerfully done. It's not just something that is done to pull crowd, because most time artists are getting shows to play here, secular artists, because, if they're playing in a club, people are going to come because the artist is there. The club is going to make money having more audience as well, buying drinks and buying whatever. And the artist is going to make money for being at the gig. When it comes to church as well, it's going to be that they're being hired to come so that they will have more audience or have more people who are coming to see them or just being part of the program. What point am I trying to make here? Now, the amount, I don't even want to look at the amount in how many million it is. As at 2022, $7,500. At least they are the one exposing these shenanigans as well for us to see. Okay? So at this point as well, you're already having issues with the record label. That is a fact. So why wasn't she able to make it to go for this particular program? Because that is the deal. You get a show, you go play a gig. That is it. So it's just gigs. Do they even do these things prayerfully? Is it just all about the business, all about the money? The gospel saying is just exposed on a different level that you'll be wondering, wait a minute. If you are just talking about the monies that is only from royalties alone without them moving from one place to the other, man, you have to now understand why some of them, if being popular as they are, they don't get to charge, because maybe what they are getting there independently as an artist, looking at Nathaniel Bassey, Choma Jesus, or like Dosun or something, is already okay. They focus on the ministry. But again, we looked at this before, okay? We looked at this before. Let's go on, please.
Like some churches in Gambia and different churches, she was not having conflict with the record label.
Okay, let me look at this one here. Still, this one is in February. Good morning, Mr. Chinwo management. We are working with you based on the old contract we signed. We agreed that Mr. Chinwo will come to Zambia in 2022 because 2021 she was not allowed to leave Nigeria because of COVID-19. We paid deposit of $7,500 from the total $15,000. We don't expect management to change the goalpost. Let's stick to our agreement. The new rates may apply to new clients. Therefore, let's conclude our engagement based on $15,000 per event. For more clarification, check the emails from 2020 to 2021. Andrew Chola, Chapro Executive Director. Interesting. So $7,500 was just an initial deposit. Okay? Interesting fact. Let me check on who Chapro. So I did a quick look up on the Chapro. They always, I think they're in Zambia. They normally organize music concerts. in Zambia. I don't know if it's ticketed, but for them to invest this amount of money in bringing Messi Chinwo, that is quite interesting. Okay, let's go on with what VDM has to say.
Boss easy. This is the genesis of the problem.
Okay.
Which I just presented evidence number 1. Not knowing that Messi Chinwo had now written a petition with EFCC that this guy tried to take away a royalty forcefully. And you see we have another problem there. And this is the part she did not say. And like I said, she can come and say VeryDarkMan is lying and they can bring lawsuits. Our lawyers can send me a lawsuit. I have my proof.
And VeryDarkMan, you have because no months, we only saw what is it called? We only saw the date. EZT posted the date as well to show that it was earlier than when the whole suit of course came. That Messi Chinwo was the one that actually started off an issue with him. So if it's possible, post the petition that she wrote if she talked about the concept of catalog, because before EFCC, there was a meeting that escalated before it escalated to that particular point. So post Easy Concept has the copy of that particular petition written to EFCC. Please, I would like to read it myself. So just post it. You don't need to send me anything personally. That is if you're watching this video. I don't even need to talk to you personally. I don't talk to people personally in my stuff. You post what you want to post. I take from what you have posted online, then I discuss about it objectively. So it doesn't look as if I am working behind the scenes with anybody. Just for you to understand that. So, because what you are saying now, I cannot say what you are saying is a fact, because you are saying what is in the petition that I don't know. Now, Mrs. Chinwo herself did not mention catalog when she responded with her legal team with the situation. One thing she said was that 50-50 was not an issue to her, that talking about the whole catalog thing and the whole court thing was a smear campaign. Let me read that as well, because some of you are just watching this video probably for the first time. You hadn't watched the previous video, so let me read that to you, okay? Okay, she said here, the same EZT pushed the false report to Minister Messi, taking him to court for a catalog to mislead the public and draw sentiment or pity to him. Do you understand? That was the first thing that came out. And some of you watched my face video, I was like, you don't talk about catalog when you have a record label deal. Even 50-50 was too good for a record label deal. I said that here on this platform before some of you start ranting in the comment because you are rattle or whatever. Okay? I really don't care. Trust me on that. If you 100 times, just so you know that. Okay?